And we're back with another week of East County Prep Football Report with Raymond Brown of stfootball.net. I'm Ramon Scott of eastcountysports.com. And Raymond, I can't believe some of these teams, having played all these 7 and 8 games. We're heading into the week 8 games here. Where's our season going?
Season's flying by fast, man. That's what happens when you're having a good time and everything's looking good. We're enjoying the season, and I can't wait to see how it ends.
It's definitely taking some twists that maybe I didn't quite expect. I always say that the prep games are actually people say, oh, high school football. No, high school, it's totally usually very predictable, actually. I study this type of stuff, and there's been some things that I didn't expect necessarily. Maybe I'm just a little bit out of the loop, but it's for the better, I think. I keep pressing you on it a little bit each week, and riddle me this, riddle me Raymond, I think is what I want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
We recap last week's games and look at the latest rankings and preview this week's action this week. And there was a big game on Thursday night last week. We'll just start there because it was on Thursday. We'll just recap from the top. El Capitan took on Valhalla. It was senior night at El Capitan, and they won pretty convincingly here against the Norse. In this one, Raymond, good start here for El Capitan. I want to bury the lead here. We're going to get to the big game in just a moment. But this was the prep for El Capitan. They'll be on the road this week for the pseudo championship game, and they beat Valhalla.
Yep, the one that we've been waiting for all year. Miguel versus El Cap for the Valley League title. It's going to happen next week. But first, El Cap needed to get past Valhalla. Very strong running team. Falling on some hard times as of late, but El Cap needed that win. They need to get in a winning spirit to prepare for Mel Miguel, who had 2 weeks to prepare for him, actually. Another great game by Chancellor Chapa at 5 catches for 125 yards and 2 touchdowns. Brent Barker, another great game from him. Great quarterback. Yeah, man. Great, excellent win.
Yeah, no doubt. Good confidence builder here for El Capitan, given the fact that, they had some slip-ups of late that has kind of knocked them into the, underdog role for the big game next week. We'll preview it, certainly, but, could have been considered, even favored maybe heading into the season to a certain extent just because of, where things stood. But I want to shout out Brady Drolleman as well, 145 yards on 10 carries and a touchdown. Shout out to the Drolleman family. So defense limited Valhalla just 1 for 7 on third downs in the first half. They posted a big lead and went on for the victory. All right. Next up, Raymond, I just started on Thursday, and no disrespect. This was the biggest news of the week. This is the headliner, and we'll spend a minute talking about it and commending Monta Vista on the league victory over El Cajon Valley, stunning the Braves. Yeah, they were at home. This was a game we discussed that said, you know what, if there's a game you're going to win, this is it. This is the one. This is the game of the year for them to a certain extent. Yeah, there's other matchups coming as well that are maybe even, winnable now for Monta Vista moving forward. A stunning blow to the Braves, who really were, have to be considered, even though a step down from Valhalla, from Mount Miguel and El Capitan, still a title contender in a way that could have gotten a chance to play in a league championship deciding game, for example, playing one of those teams when they were perhaps undefeated, and an upset could knock them back to 1 loss after the big game next week. So just to explain that, nonetheless, Monta Vista has the biggest news of the week here, winning against El Cajon Valley with a great comeback in stunning fashion.
Yeah, Monte Vista was down 14-3 at halftime, and they rallied and came back and got the win. Um, Tough loss for El Cajon Valley. This is a team we was all rooting for. They were on the rise. They could have had a 5-2 record to kick things off for the season, but they ran into Monte Vista. They're the hungry team. They're trying to turn it around. So I'm happy for Monte Vista, but I'm kind of disappointed for El Cajon Valley.
Yeah, if anything, that's what the stunner was here, because the Braves continued to check off every kind of test that came their way. Yeah, they had some losses to teams maybe they were considerable underdogs to, but these were the type of games that they had been winning. And it's really a credit to Monte Vista and the big step that they took in this one after stopping the Braves on a fourth down conversion. The Monarchs took over at the 42. You mentioned being behind. They scored on a 17-yard touchdown run to go ahead. Also, Monte Vista had a 47-yard touchdown pass as Enrique Candelaria sold a downfield move. He broke for the deep route. He caught the run-suspecting Braves, of course, Raymond, by surprise every time. If the guy on the Monarchs raises his right arm, nobody is expecting that. And that was a huge play in the game, although Chris Cossio had a 69-yard catch and run touchdown for the Braves. The Braves' second score came on an 8-yard run by Derek Dubose. He dropped the snap, but quickly escaped and ran into the end zone for a score. Monte Vista also had a 44-yard interception return. And then the play of the week, I don't know. I didn't see the plays of the week. I might have missed it, or it comes out. But the play by Braden Andrus, he ran to block a kick, and I was watching on. It's tough on the NFHS, and I don't know if did he caught the ball off the guy's foot in midair and ran in 23 yards for a touchdown, I think. And not to mention it was homecoming night, but Monte Vista, what a night. And what a victory for the Monarchs. We waited for this moment. Yeah, they had a win earlier, snapping that losing streak, but this feels like look how excited I am. Could you imagine how excited those guys are?
Yeah, they really needed this win. I mean, when you went winless last season, every win you have the next season really matters. So, congratulations to the Monarchs.
I hope I got that right, Braden. I'm pretty sure that was, it was an incredible play and a great job by the Monarchs. Okay, time to recap the Hills League action. And I was dreading these, I'm so thankful you've done this show to keep me abreast on what's going on. But I was kind of dreading these moments, not because, of course, my Highlanders win again. I don't even talk about the gun, really why, at this point. But I feel unfortunate. I just feel like, if I could, I'm not going to talk down to the Hillers or anything like that. I love Grossmont High School. But it felt like they came in with a strategy like, hey, if we can just zing with them, maybe we can stay with them and we can play an incredible game and the score will be 56-28. We'll be wow. But it didn't happen that way. It did for the first couple of minutes, Raymond, but that was it. And we know Grossmont may be a little bit one-dimensional and they're going to beat teams that they can beat, and they can beat them handily. But Helix was ready, and the onslaught was there, and they just kind of let up the gas, and Helix romped.
Yeah, the long winning streak continues for Helix. They were dominant, 27 straight wins over their rivals. Kevin Allen, the third, another great game for him, 3 rushing touchdowns, while Jason Cisneros, I'm sorry.
Cisneros, and I got him spelled wrong in a story, and I'm going to fix it. Everybody does, or not everybody does it.
But yeah, he had
both years, but I'll get it right, Jason.
He had 2 touchdowns. Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns for a run game. Rylan Jesse threw for 133 yards and a touchdown, and Jordan Gash had an interception return for a score. I think 2 players had pick sixes. So dominant game for Helix and tough game for Grossmont, man. One day they're going to get that musket, but not anytime soon.
Yeah, I even have it at more. It's a point of debate at this point. I think I have it. I know what they said, and I know what you're saying. I know what they're saying, and just gonna have to get my chart out. And I'm not even gonna belabor the point. There's no point at this point, and Helix rolls. So yeah, just good performance, and I think we did get Cisneros right this week, and I'll go back and fix one from last week. But Shiraz Savanea. Raymond was one. He had an interception return for a
I wasn't
touchdown
trying to
late.
pronounce that. I was ducking.
I think
I
I
was
might even.
ducking pronouncing.
I might have sped it up a little bit. I mean,
But yeah,
this is
thank you
a
for that.
popular. This family. There's a lot of Savianeas, and I hope I'm getting it quite right. But it's a
Linnea.
football
Yeah, I
family.
remember.
It's a big time football Samoan name. There's Savianeas up and down playing football throughout the years, different places. But also, how about hey, been waiting for this one all year, and apologize in advance, but he had to know it was coming. The interception, of course, by Zen Austin in the game as well. So great job. Helix had a 51-8 lead on a 24-yard interception return. Hey, Raymond, we saw Alex Smith at the game earlier in the season. Remember when the Highlanders went to the Bay Area? Well, he came down for this one actually and was seen on the sidelines for this game. So that's what I saw on
Yeah, it's
X anyway.
always good to have a famous alumni show up.
Yep. And a legend. Okay, next up, so we're trying to compare and equate what's going on, right, with the matchups between Granite Hills and Helix and all these teams, and see if we can find a way to differentiate what's going on. I don't have any clue here, other than this one was over with 3 touchdowns, I think, in the first quarter.
Yeah, another great game for the freshman, Zachary Benitez. He had a touchdown pass and a touchdown run. Max Turner led the run game with 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. Vance Wilder, that's a new name. 7 rushes for 74 yards and a touchdown. And dominating win for Granite Hills, man. They're just collecting wins until that big game come up. And I think they're a lock in the open division. I had this conversation earlier today. I think no matter, as long as they beat the other teams, I think that game against Helix will just determine the seeding. I don't think any of those teams are going to drop down.
You're so good at this. I mean, I thought I was going to come at you in the preview section and ask you point blank, and of course you beat me to the punch, and you're going to tease me later. But if you want, yes, I'm going to talk about it right now. You brought it up, and this wasn't much to this game, so let me just finish it off, and I'll ask you. Okay, so Max Turner scored on a 50-yard run. Benitez had a touchdown on the first possession. It was 28-0 with 10 minutes to go before halftime. I got it wrong. They were up even more, I think, in the second half. So Parker Vance had an interception, and also Benitez to Diaz made it 35-0 still in the first half. Decoy Maddox recovered a fumble as well. Maddox Peterson, a touchdown run. And also Devin Wells, homecoming king, Raymond, a member of the football team. Devin, shout out Devin, and Delaney Fry, who was a great athlete at Granite Hills. If I can get these, I'm going to say them every time. So I'll just try to pick them up. I'm trying to listen. And yeah, Vance, you mentioned Weldon. Petrick, 43-yard field goal. West Hills' Kyler Oberg had 4 receptions in the game and a 26-yard kickoff return. Raymond, with the results for Mission Hills and La Costa Canyon next week, that virtually seals, unless Helix or Granite Hills wins the game. I don't know how the math works. This is just the way I feel about it. Torrey Pines obviously is a team that moved up. We'll talk about the rankings in a moment. But LCC, Mission Hills, their losses last week have lifted Helix in Granite Hills into a position where I do believe the loser of that game, I don't know, providing it's a good game, one or two touchdowns. I don't even know if that's part of the equation, but they have earned the right to be in the Final Four.
Yeah, I think both of those teams did enough to. Now, Granite Hills, they got game against Steel Canyon and who else? Another team, Steel Canyon and Grossmont. So unless they slip up to most teams, those crab games. Unless they
Okay, well,
slip
I'm
up,
not. Yeah,
that's the only way I see them bouncing down to Division One.
no, we'll talk
But
about that in a
yeah,
minute.
it's happened last year with Madison. Remember, Lincoln and Madison were both undefeated. They were in the top four, and Lincoln beat Madison last game of the season, and Madison still went to the Open Division over undefeated Poway team. So I can see the same type of scenario happening with Granite Hills and Helix, but neither team can't lose a trap game.
No, there, and that's in Steel Canyon's the only is the threat. I mean, look what Helix just did. There's no, and still there's a big difference between the clubs we think. But let's just okay, we'll continue on. Here we go, because
Yeah,
Steel
and
Canyon
Helix
is
got
the
yeah.
huh?
Helix still got Santana on Thursday. Yeah, Helix
Yeah,
got
no,
Santana tomorrow.
exactly.
They should
But
win that game, and they still have Steel Canyon at the end of the season.
no,
So if
well, no,
Helix
and I'm just
doesn't
saying.
lose those two, they should be fine.
Yeah, no, everyone expects it to be. Of course, we didn't actually. I don't think we knew that Steel Canyon, and we'll see. I mean, there's still they're going to be. You'll see in a moment because Steel Canyon plays Granite. They're still going to be considerable underdogs in that game, but Steel Canyon is markedly improved over last season. It's obvious here right now because of a game like this, where maybe we thought they were on the same level or just a bare, just above maybe the Santanas, the Grossmonts. Remember what happened, and the West Hills types. But Steel Canyon looks more and more like a modest threat somehow to the other two teams. I don't know how it would happen, but they're playing much better this year. I only say that because their standards are so high, and the previous two seasons were not were not up to their par.
Yeah, Steel Canyon has looked well improved from when I've seen them play Madison. Their run game is just going crazy right now. Jonathan Sablon had 230 yards on 21 carries, 3 touchdowns. Nico Jara, another punt return touchdown for him. So the playmakers are making plays. And I'm saying Helix and Grand Hills need to watch out. They can't go down there thinking they're going to get an easy win. Which I mean, we expect them to, but things happen. So this can that's why I call it a trap game for both of them. So I'm not surprised what they did with the Santana, and I still think Santana's a great team, but they're just in a real tough league, and it's going to be tough. So
Well,
yeah, I'm
look what
impressed
we
with
said.
Steel Canyon.
Remember what we said at the beginning of the year, and I know that all of our football aficionados know exactly, but to our casual fans too, uh, you know, Steel Canyon Division Two, Santana, and don't forget Helix and Granite Division One, and Santana's all the way down in Division Four, and we're asking them to compete in this higher league because we want to make it a little more equitable, so that the problem isn't Helix and Helix. Steel Canyon, Granite Hills, ducking out of town teams by playing a 4-team league, which really it's only a 3-team league, barely. It's the fact that it's just not fair to do it 5 or 6 times, or even play try to find all those non-conference games when other leagues are playing 5, 6, 7-team leagues, and they're all in league games. It's hard to find a game when everybody else is playing in league games. So that's why we always I sit here and make fun of the situation a little bit, but there's a reason why this is going on. Why it happened. Okay, Sablon 3 touchdowns in the first half. Nico Yara, I think it was a 50-yarder. It was very short by Steel Canyon standards. Raymond Wind, they've got the best special teams, I believe, in the county again. So we've seen all those great guys. You mentioned it, guys like Johnson. But what makes Steel Canyon so special on these? There's got to be something to the coaching, the athletes. They definitely they make returns that. Yeah, Helix and Granite Hills can make returns, but they don't make them like Steel Canyon does. They've got the best special teams.
You got to credit the gunners, the guys who are blocking, and I mean, a team with one of the best offensive lines in the county, you can't be surprised that they're great blockers on special teams as well. So, Yeah, credit to them. It's the guys that we don't talk about. I know Nico's getting all the love and all the stats, and deservedly so, but there's also 10 other guys blocking for him, setting up those holes.
Yeah, and there were some new names this week too. And I say special teams, I should say return teams, because I think some kicking games on some of these other teams are good, very good. We know we're blessed with good kicking out here. So Sultan scored on a 40-yard pass from Goldman to Caden Hallman to make it 21-6. Hope I'm getting these right. And Steel Canyon responded a Sablon 37-yard touchdown pass to a long run by Sablon, and then resulted in a 37-yard touchdown pass to Aaron Gray. The Cougars scored late in the third quarter on a touchdown pass to Javier Trujano. Okay, so hope I'm getting these highlights right a little bit, Raymond. I'm a little bit behind schedule this week, but all right. This was a good, like I said, good matchup that we wanted to see. I'm sorry that it didn't work out and wasn't closer. I expected it to be. I was hoping that we could just have more competitive games because of the situation with Granite and Helix, but maybe Steel Canyon. Let's just say they're back a little bit. Okay. Next up, bummer here, Raymond. It was Morse with an upset of Christian. Maybe they were at home. We knew it was going to be close. We knew it was going to be tough, but I'm pretty sure everybody was saying the Patriots were expected to win this game. And it, probably was going to be a close game, but the Tigers took the lead in the first quarter and extended it to 12-0. The Patriots kind of kept coming back, but they never could make it back.
Yeah, I'm surprised at this one. I thought Christian was going to win this one. Morris has been kind of like a Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde type of team. Like one week they show up, the next week they don't. So I wasn't really sure about this one. I thought Christian had this one in the bag, but great win for Morris, man. Jonathan Smith had an interception for a touchdown, pick six. Jonathan Holloway had a 59-yard touchdown run. So yeah, Morris is full of playmakers, man. If you don't watch out, they could get you. So better luck next week for Christian. I hope they can turn it around.
Yeah, now they got the bye. They got the bye this week, but the Christian found the end zone with 3 minutes left in the second quarter on a run by Brady Eads from 1 yard out. But the Tigers had an interception return for a touchdown in the first half's final minute, and the Patriots answered with a score with in the third quarter. That was 18-13, but then trail 18-14. Then it was 24-14 in that one. 25-yard field goal after a pass here. Let's see. No, a 25-yard touchdown from Spencer Johnson to Brady Eads. Okay, I got it. Sorry about that, Raymond. Okay. There was one other game. I just got the score. I don't know. Or if you covered Henry or anything, let me know if you got anything. But Tri-City Christian beat Mountain Empire. And I didn't really even look into it. It was on Saturday. And did you follow the Patriots at all? Are we good to go?
Yeah, they took a horrible loss to Scripps Ranch, 51-7. Cassius Campbell had 3 touchdowns for Scripps Ranch. Noah Gardena, the coach's son, had 122 yards on 15 carries. Yeah, not what I expected from Patrick Henry. They looked so much better when I saw them. The way they played Mission Bay, had them to the wire. So I guess that just shows how great Scripps Ranch is this year.
Okay, take a look at what's going on right now around the county. And everything's kind of stable now. I don't have too much to, I guess, take umbrance with in the poll. But right now, Lincoln, Carlsbad, Granite, and Helix. I still have Helix ahead just by the eye test. But I know what you keep saying about, you have to win first. So I get that too. No problem. And this is great. And there you see right now, Raymond. So Torrey Pines moves up to 5th with that 5-2 record. But, now that things have shaken down, I mean, it's pretty obvious. You look at 4 teams there with 0 losses. And Torrey Pines, look, they were 8th last week, and they were down not too long ago. That's the way this thing's been working out this year. They had fallen out of the top 10, and they've slowly climbed their way back. Of course, these teams all played tougher games, and that's why they're all saddled with some losses. Teams like Mission Hills penalized here all the way down to 9th, but they got to keep trying to squeeze Del Norte in here. They're looking good. And El Camino, they're the biggest jump here. I do feel a little bit uncomfortable there ahead of LCC and Mission Hills, but who knows right now? I still like what the Wildcats are doing. So, all right, what do you know about the poll this week?
I kind of got it the same way. It seemed like 1 through 4 is a lock, and everybody else is just fighting for a position. So, that's about right. I don't think I put Mission Hills in the top 10. I think I put them out.
Oh, really?
For some reason. Yeah, I think I voted them out. But I just need to see more from them. They took a tough loss. I think they took 2 straight losses to El Camino and LCC, but I'm not 100% sure. But I need to see more from them.
No, and I just thought, that's why I said last week with Mission Hill, because they were the ones that were kind of sitting on the outside of the top 4, La Costa Canyon and Mission Hills, and then they lose in good game, in good ranked games certainly, but games that you probably need to win if you're going to try to find a way to get past into that final 4. So Mount Miguel up to 12th, and Madison drops out. So good job, Mount Miguel. You get close to that top 10. No reason at this point. We'll see. Well, we'll get to the previews, I guess. I don't know if we have anything else we can touch on here. Everything's kind of status quo with the top 4, and I already Raymond spilled the beans on what I was talking about with Helix and Granite Hills. It's I knew it would be a good season for us, Raymond, and they've proven it here, and we'll see. But let's get them both in there and take our chances. We know it'll be the East County teams against the 2 top teams because, they'll be the top 2 seeds. So the winner, I would think, I don't know, it looks like if Lincoln does finish on top then, and let's just not speculate because then I'd be saying who I think is going to win the big game. All right. Okay, let's get into the matchups here for week number 9. I think it's week number 9. We're recapped week number 8. Only a few teams have the 8th game, but here we go. And we'll start. There is a game on Thursday here, Raymond, with whoops. Yeah. That was last week's game. There is a game here on Thursday. It's the big one of the season in the Grossmont Valley League. It's our big game, at least in this league, with El Capitan and Mount Miguel coming in here. Does feel like Mount Miguel has moved to a considerable favorite. That's even what the computers would suggest now. I'm giving every chance for El Capitan to stay well within whatever these computers are spitting out right now this week. That's not to say that everything that Mount Miguel's done, even their lofty ranking of number 12, isn't. They're worthy of it right now. They're exciting. The new players they've added as well here, Raymond, just makes you feel like that for these 2 teams, this is the chance. El Capitan, disappointment in the run-up to a certain extent, because like I said, even though this game was out Mount Miguel, and Mount Miguel has surged above those expectations now that, maybe they even be a favorite against El Capitan of late. But I can see why the computers here are suggesting, Raymond, that it could be as high as a 3-touchdown or more victory. I'm not disrespecting El Capitan that much. I want to say I do understand, we make fun of this computer, right? Whoever it is. But it could be just a little caution. It could be a 3-touchdown game. Man, El Capitan, I want them to stay in this game so bad.
This is the game I've been looking forward to all year. Yeah, this one of the games I've been looking forward to all year. I think this is going to decide the league title for the Rosemont Valley. I like the way Mount Merrill has bounced back since their loss to Bishops. They've introduced some new players have come into the scene, like Paris Vernon. I think he has a scholarship offer to Colorado State. Um, Cardwell, the guy you was talking about a couple of weeks ago, was he the brother of Byron Cardwell? He has a scholarship
Yeah.
offer to Colorado State as well.
Yeah,
So
that just came down this week. Wow. I mean, you can see what's going on here.
yeah. So I expect Mel Miguel to win. Barton is still playing at a high level. Jeremiah Castillo, he's one of the top receivers as far as yards in the county. I think he's number 5th in the county with 657 yards. So I'm looking forward to a great game. I think if LCAP can get their offense going, they'll have a chance.
Yeah,
I like the way Chancellor Chapa is playing. They got guys.
Sorry, Raymond, if I'm having just a little bit of connectivity issues. I'm a little far away. I miss my East County so much, but I will say this, Raymond, and this is, I don't want to get outed here, but, I'm not in town anymore, but I'm never leaving the East County in my heart. But I'm thankful that this game is at Mount Miguel because Mr. Batafi has his NFHS camera working beautifully, and Mr. Berner, not so much, but we'll get maybe, hey, it's not all about me, but good. I'll be able to watch this game certainly tomorrow. It's going to be Raymond, come on. What do I want? Do I want to watch the Chiefs crush the Broncos, or do I want to watch Mount Miguel and El Capitan? You know what I'm doing? I'm on my big screen. So
we got to see the Grossmont Valley Championship.
No doubt about it. Like I said, it's the pseudo
winner here. The loser moves to the hills, and the winner stays in the valley.
Right. I mean, again, I think it's a 2-year project each time, and I believe that's why we've ended up also. It may have actually been decided before last. I don't know. I don't even know. But it does feel like
I think it should be relegated like soccer.
Oh, I would love
let the last place team.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, last place team goes to the valley. The first place team moves up to the hills.
It's kind of what we're doing in a way.
Simple. Just relegation.
That's kind of what we're doing in a way, but it does feel like Mount Miguel will be. I'm not saying that right now the Granite Hills program is just insane, right? And Helix is back, and Mount Miguel isn't there, and yet at this. But you would take a game with Mount Miguel with those two teams than, with all due respect to right now West Hills and Santana, and they're great. They've had that great little triumvirate with El Capitan over the last several years of great matchups, against each other, that this has thrown it into the upset the apple cart a little bit. But I'd love to see Mount Miguel just, play Helix or Granite Hill. They'd lose. I'll say it. But I wouldn't say it to my, those Mount Miguel kids. They're great. But it would be better than the those other games, but we can't do it, just because we knew we knew it was coming, and it's here, but still El Capitan big shot in this game again. Raymond, I was surprised by the losses that they've suffered. Now, granted, there are 2-0 in league play right now, not all of them necessarily, but I think they knew they were probably disappointed, and they had some injuries. As well, but again, they're underdogs here. If they keep this within 2 scores, they've done a great job. Within 1 score, I lost Raymond, but I'll let him. He'll come back in here. Last thing you want to hear is me anymore. Appreciate you guys, and shout out. I'll just wait for Raymond here, and maybe I'll get into the next game a little bit on Thursday. I think we covered El Capitan. We're on live. We record this live, so there comes Raymond now. We record this live, so a lot of times if something like that happens, believe me, Raymond, you're one. If you dropped up, was it me? But it probably was.
It was me. I clicked the X on accident. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, because all these other issues that are going on are technical issues with this show are me. But here we go. I think we're done with it. It's going to be a great game. Mount Miguel is expected to win.
Yeah, I got Mount Miguel's my pick.
Mount Miguel's my pick, and it could also. I'm saying, come on, please, El Capitan, stay in this game. Let's make it a great game. Let's represent. Let's make this conference champion. I'm calling it the pseudo conference championship game. Like I said, the Braves will be the one team with a chance to play one of these two teams, but now they've got an unfortunate loss. So that whole theme is out the window. Anyways, we got Mount Miguel, but they also are in this team in this program is in a position to make a statement also in this game. So El Capitan, I'm hoping they represent, and I'm rooting for Mount Miguel also because they're right now one of the talks of. They continue to be one of the talks of the county. Okay, whew. I'm saying a lot. Helix will take on Santana, and again, unfortunately, this is where we're at. But Helix here at home. This will be on Thursday, and they were pretty respectful to Grossmont. I'm sure that they'll win this one, and we've already beat the thing into the ground with Granite Hills. What can you add? Oh,
yeah.
Yep.
All right. Another tough game for Santana. I think Helix wins this one in a landslide. I don't know much to say, man. I hope Santana puts up a great effort, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, like I said, these were the ones where I'm, a little bit of, saying, oh, we're going to have, these are shows and we're going to have to go through these games a little bit here. One-sided games, unfortunately. You want league games to be competitive all around. You don't ever want to put these guys on a running clock and things like that. But, and teams learn and grow. Remember, the Santana will be all the better for it, Raymond, when it comes to playoff time. So just stay healthy, learn from this game if you're the Sultans, and play your best, because these are the kind of tune-ups that become more significant for you, because they're obviously in a situation, with their playoff that they can do something.
Yeah, it's funny. A couple of weeks ago, Santana was calling out teams. I think they called out West Hills and they called out Mount Miguel. I was like, how come y'all don't call out Granite Hills or Helix? Those are the teams y'all got coming up. But I like their confidence though, man. They're a real tough, scrappy team. Their overtime win over El Cap really showed a lot. But right now Helix is just rolling. They're one of the top teams in the county for a reason. They could be the number 1 or number 2 team as well if it wasn't for Carlsbad and Lincoln. But we don't know. They could be the number 1 team in the county the way they're playing right now. So we'll see, man. It's gonna be this game might be over at halftime, man. Seeing what they did to Grossmont, and Grossmont is a great team.
It will be over by halftime. But I kind of refuse to go there with you, Raymond, as far like. I want to. We'll get there. The momentum will get there, and of course, I'll start talking it up when we do get, to the open division. But got to get.
I would love for Santana to prove us wrong. I would love for Santana to shock us, give us something to talk about next week. But unfortunately, in the world we live in, Helix is just on a roll.
Okay. Well, to be fair, we can assign a handicap here if we want. And it's I liked when the guys on that other show did some point spreads in a way, but kind of going off the if you go off the Cal Prep, I don't even want to say it on the air. It's extremely disrespectful. I don't know if Helix would do that to anybody, but I will. They've got a huge number up there. Maybe a more realistic score might be something in like the 49 to 14 range, 42 to 7, 42 to 14. If you could if Santana could do a 42 to 14, if they could get 3 scores, that's a victory right there. That's what I'm telling. I'm just being all.
Yeah, I don't think Helix is trying to embarrass anybody. I mean, they beat their rival 50. They put up 50 points on their rival, so they'll probably chill and put up 40 on Santana.
No, here's the thing:
42 to 7 sounds fair.
In that game, Raymond, I don't know if I explained it properly, and I don't want Anthony Lawrence to think I'm taking any shot at it. I mean, I'm sure they realized it, right? I mean, they played they played themselves right into the overwhelming situation right away. When really, I mean, if you're any team going up against Helix, when they're going to be overmatched like that, I guess you could. But Grossmont is what it is. They can't get away from because their passing is wonderful and lovely, quite frankly. But here we go. We'll get to it here with the rest of the Hills League. Granite Hills is going to take on Steel Canyon in this one, and Granite Hills on the road here, Raymond. So this is what I'm talking about. I mean, this is obviously the one matchup. If you had to go somewhere in this whole season of Grossmont Hills League, where could one team possibly slip out of the 2 teams? And it's only because of the great improvement that we've seen from Steel Canyon. Does Steel Canyon think they have further to go? Yes, Steel Canyon knows they're not where Steel Canyon even had been pre-pandemic, or a little, as far as remember, they were the team always contending with Helix, and Granite Hills was fighting to be that team. So all of a sudden, Steel Canyon's kind of back to where they need to be. It's just that unfortunately, Helix and Granite Hills have increased, have gotten even better. But this is the spot. This is the spot, as they might say, and Granite Hills is still a considerable favorite here, Raymond, a big favorite actually, by probably as many as 4 or 5 touchdowns. But it doesn't feel like that. I almost trust like a Steel Canyon defense, right? I mean, that's where we're supposed to think of at first, just trying to stop all the things that Granite Hills has to offer offensively. We'll worry about because all they can do, hey, here, Grossmont, this is the problem, like with Grossmont, right? Because, Grossmont Steel was an interesting game and all that, but Grossmont is one, Steel can run the ball and get first downs. It changes everything. It's not like playing Grossmont. It's different.
Absolutely. My take on this game, I saw both of these teams play Madison. I saw Madison blow out Steel Canyon, and I saw Madison get blown out by Granite Hills. So judging by that, I got to go with Granite Hills. Granite Hills is they just rolling right now, man. They got everything going for them. They got one of the best offensive line. So does Steel Canyon, but they got one of the best defenses. And same thing I said about Helix. Granite Hills could be the number 1 team if not for Carlsbad and Lincoln. So we don't know yet. And I think they're a lot for the open division, as I said before. I love the way they're playing. I think I've seen them play. I've seen Granite Hills play more than any team this year, and I'm just impressed. They're just all around good. They know how to win against the tough teams like the Saints. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's going to be a tough outing for Steel Canyon, but I expect a great effort.
I'd be interested in where, and I don't want to, isolate necessarily on Benitez, because quite frankly, for a freshman and as affable as he is, we've got a big time stars all over this team, and I'm not making fun because they always, for a freshman, I mean, this might be the most, Jesse was terrific as a freshman as well. Unfortunately, he got caught up in the little, pandemic there situation, right? But look he goes to Utah State, right? You look at Benitez, you got to wonder with his size, how he looks right now. I'm not a good, I look for when the kids start getting their offers, and like when you see a guy like Demarion White who got offers very, very early, right, and he kind of a guy who's actually being overlooked by the media in town a little bit, things like. But I wonder where Benitez does grade out long term as a 4-year quarterback with what he can do, what his numbers could look like here. Because Granite Hills are stacked. I mean, I think they've got I don't know. Do they have 3 freshman teams? I know they have 2 freshman teams, I think. But I mean, I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding about the 2, but about the 3. They got a lot of football players coming in every year. They've got okay, we see some schools are doing differently. Yeah, Granite Hills has brought in a player or 2, but they've more got like a football player factory going on, Raymond.
Yeah, I like the way Benitez is playing. He plays like a junior. You forget he's a freshman when you see him out there. Just great, just very patient in the pocket, can get those tough throws, and his receivers are amazing too. Man, you got Josh Zander, got Ramirez, guys like those. So yeah, man, to have a guy like that for 3 more years is going to be great. And also on defense, Travis Ford, former Helix Highlander, he's eligible now, and he's adding to that defense. So look out for that as well. That's a factor added to an already dangerous team.
And for Steel Canyon, like I said, to me, they are the story in this game because Granite Hills is expected to win. And I'm telling you, I'm looking at those whatever. They all look at them, right? I'm not. Just because I kind of.
It's a trap game for sure. This could be a trap game if they don't watch out.
Words here. I mean, everybody knows with the website, and stuff like that. So they see it. They see it right there. It's basically 5 touchdowns, and it doesn't feel like it to me right now. I think Steel Canyon. Look, if anything back, just like watching an NFL game, there's fumbles, whatever. Don't want to do it, but Steel Canyon has the type of game to stay in the game, just stay in the game. 21-7 at halftime with their return game. Why not? Okay, that's going to be better than advertised for sure. Better than advertised. Okay. Here we go with West Hills and Grossmont. So this is these guys have had some great games in the past. Another one of those where they have good meetings in the past and hadn't been playing as much. I think I should know more about the recent history. It just escapes me now. But West Hills has an 0-2 record. I think they've got a big chance here, Raymond, actually to compete in this game. And it almost feels like a toss-up. The computers would suggest actually the one that most people refer to, that West Hills actually is a slight favorite here. But it does feel like it's going to be a great game. At least we've got a good game here for sure.
West Hills a slight favorite?
The Cal Preps had it 31-26 Wolfpack.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I got Grossmont as a favorite. They just.
You do, or you do? Do I have it wrong? I'll go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, you might be right. I'm just saying, my personal opinion. I think Grossmont's the favorite in this one.
Okay.
Way Herbert's playing is amazing. Yeah, Hudson Herbert, he's second in passing yards with 1,813. So, and Cody Bigley, he's almost at 1,000 yards. He got 944. So, like that passing game, I think they're gonna go crazy, and they can run the ball as well. And on defense, one of my favorite safeties, Josh Ferrara, he's like the heart and soul of that entire team, senior leader. I love the way he's playing right now, but I would love to see West Hills do good in this game. They need a win. Grossmont needs a win too. They're trapped at the bottom of the playoff standings right now as far as the computers goes. They're barely like a 12 or 11 seed according to the computers. So this could be an important game. I'm actually kind of glad that they got West Hills as a favorite because maybe this will be an interesting game instead of the usual blowouts we've been seeing.
Yeah,
So
and like I said, I mean,
it should be a
I
good
think
one.
it's a fun reference. I mean, I think everybody knows that. So, but I know another projection site that I follow has Grossmont by 2 touchdowns. So, I think it's not as reputable as the one that most people refer to, but nonetheless, I think it feels like a toss up to me. I think I might when I'm thinking about it, thinking, man, Grossmont's offense is really tough, but West Hills, they certainly know that their defense is where they start right now. Defense and running game to a certain extent. It feels like there, whereas Grossmont has their great passing game. They don't run, quite frankly, that great at all, and they are a little bit more susceptible, I believe, defensively. It's just that West Hills has a more grinding, churning offense a little bit. I don't think they have enough big strike against Grossmont. So, did you take Grossmont to edge them out,
Yeah,
or?
I'm taking. Yeah, I'm taking Grossmont to win by a couple of touchdowns. I think their offense is just too
Okay.
strong. I'm expecting guys like Colin Deal and Dago Cauldron to step it up for for West Hills. But yeah, I think Grossmont got too many great athletes, too many great players to slip in this one.
Okay, and I'm
And Grossmont
well.
really
You
needs this.
said,
They cannot afford to lose this game.
is it in their play? Are they bubble in the division playoffs? Is that what you mean, or are you just saying that so they
Yeah,
have a super like? Okay. Uh,
let me check and see.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I mean, I'm not saying they. I know what you're saying. If they, have one loss, they
Okay,
will
yeah,
get
Grossmont right now they're number 10, so they
right. Yeah, I'm not so worried about the
so they
Hills
can't really
League.
afford to lose too
I
many
didn't
more
know if you were
games.
saying that because of the Hills League, thinking they only want to have one loss. I mean, I'm
Oh
not
no, no
putting
way.
them in that
That's
equation. I'm afraid, as
that's Helix
honest.
and Granite Hill
Okay,
loss.
but yeah, no, I know that. Okay, okay. I'm just making. I mean, I'm not saying it like that, but yeah, no, I know that
Yeah, I'm
they're in
talking
a
as far as the
situation right now in the.
Division 3 playoffs.
Okay. And I think West Hills also is going to be in a little bit of a quandary coming up too. Do you know about them? Is it at your fingertips there? I
They're
don't want to take up
Division
too
4,
much.
right?
Too much. No, no, I don't know. They're in all
Okay,
the
they're
teams
number
are
three,
in
and
all the. Okay.
okay, they're ranked 3 right now. So they're in pretty good
Oh,
standing.
okay. No, that's great.
So
Okay,
they're
no
ranked
problem.
above Grossmont actually. So maybe that prediction ain't far off because the computer
No,
got
that's where it all
them
goes
up.
on. Believe me.
That's Grossmont.
West Hills is, favored kind of for a reason here. But I'm just saying, if you gave me Grossmont and 5 points, I'm on Grossmont. But I didn't want to make it about picking point spreads and anything. I don't know if that's all right. I got one for this. Is it? This is a real game of the week. Not on this, aesthetically maybe, but I've got this as a close game. And so do those computers. They basically have it as a toss up here. And that is actually credit to Valhalla because I would think going into this season, the Braves had distanced themselves just slightly enough from Valhalla that I would think the Braves would beat them even on their home field, quite honestly. But I think Valhalla has made some strides here, and the Braves' loss against the Monarchs has me concerned.
Yeah, I hear you. I got Valhalla winning this one. I also want Valhalla to do good because I was impressed by the way they played San Isidro. They need to get that run game going. I think Dominic Silva still amongst the top rushers in the county. For El Cajon Valley, this will be a good win for him to bounce back. But I just don't see it.
Okay.
I mean, the 2-6 record kind of throw you off about Valhalla, but they're so much better than their record. I can assure you that. I think they're so much better than their record. Yeah, and they're at home. Yeah, I got Valhalla in this one.
Okay. I'll
Did
take the
Brandon
Braves.
Docker get a sack last week?
I don't have that. I did not look into it was 35-9. My bad.
Oh, no worries. I'm sure he did. We'll check. We'll get back to it.
All right. In fact, I didn't even call out. I sit here and I try to call out someone on every game, and I apologize. I did not even have Valhalla's touchdown scorer in my recap of that game, and that is something that I try to make sure that I do in every game. And like I said, just a little bit out of touch, but going to do the best I can, my friend. All right. Anyways, I'm going to take the Braves because I think that the Braves expect to, I know both teams are going to expect to win this game. And Valhalla, right now, I think they can say, look, we just saw the Braves lose at Monte Vista. We know we can compete on the level with this team. We are at home, so we can win. But I also think for the Braves, they are better than that loss at Monte Vista. And I think they know that. I think they were stunned by what happened there in that game. And they quite frankly will have to be better or they will not win over Valhalla. But I would expect like the computer has it like 22-21 or 21-20 or something like that, and it does feel like it's going to be exactly like that. Like you can't maybe I don't know if anybody other than people wearing light blue and orange are going to be able to tell me who is going to win this game. Although we just did. We got a challenge, Raymond. I'm taking the Braves. All right.
Okay.
Let's see. I got one more on Friday night here. I think that's it, right? Foothills Christian. This is the big game of the season. Actually, this is I don't know. Just mention it. Certainly, Foothills Christian. They're going to be on the road at St. Joseph Academy, and certainly two teams that will be in contention for the CIF championship as well. But this is a league game. It's the biggest game, I believe, of the season in the league. So Foothills has played some tough teams here in this one. And again, like I said, that last game against Sage Creek, I didn't get the situation with the quarterback not being in the box score, I think is what I said. But good game here.
This is going to decide who's the top seed for the 8-man playoffs.
Okay.
This one's tough. St. Joseph, they were undefeated for a while until like a couple of weeks ago. So they're a pretty good team. I don't know, man. I got to go with Foothills Christian and my guy Cameron Brown. Man, I expect him to have another game, probably put up 200, 300 rushing yards. That's usually his things. I wish I knew more about both teams. I got to do more studying. But I'll take Foothills Christian in a close one.
Yeah, I almost want to say if I know that the quarterback is in, he's been a veteran now. He's a younger player, but if he was in, I'd take Foothills. If not, because that was one of the reasons that it wasn't in the box score. So, anyways, I just want to mention that game. We don't have. Wish we knew more, but just want to mention. Anybody wants to see a good 8-man football game, this would be one of them. Right here, this is a playoff caliber matchup. Okay, Raymond, I think I've got one more, unless you got something I forgot. But Mountain Empire is going to play Orange Glen. And don't really have much right now going on. The Redhawks haven't been too good this year. They'll be pretty big underdogs here to Orange Glen. Orange Glen's going to be probably 4-touchdown or more favorite. So,
yeah, Orange Glen's coming off a big win over Rock Academy. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think it's on Saturday. That's all I was going to say.
Okay. Yeah, Bowen Cannon from Orange Glen rushed for 181 yards and 3 touchdowns last week. And a big win over Rock Academy. I expect them to probably have similar results against Mountain Empire, who's been struggling this year. Orange Glen, they had a rough beginning to their season. They're just starting to turn things around. So should be an interesting game, but I think Orange Glen is going to win this one by a couple of touchdowns.
I'm sure of it. Great job. Let's take a look. I think we have the plays of the week here. Let me see if I got them. Raymond, your players of the week. And, I just wanted to share some, really helps if we have the stats. I appreciate the teams that kind of come in after the fact, and they say, well, we had a great player that, racked up big yardage in a game where we had a running clock in the second quarter, but he had 300 yards. And, well, it's fun, but this information, if I see it, it's not complete. It's hard to report on those games. So all we got to do is get the info. No one's being left out. There's no Raymond. You and I are not running a scam here, sir. I am a big high school football fan. All right, inside joke. Here we go, Raymond, with your players of the week.
Can I say one thing real quick?
To me,
if I leave a player out, to the world. If a player gets left out, he rushes for 200, 300 yards, and like he doesn't make the list, it's not on purpose. It's because I didn't have the information available. That's the only way. I'm not looking at a kid. Oh, he rushed for 300 yards, 5 touchdowns in the first half, but I don't like him. I don't like his parents. They said something disrespectful to me, so he's out of there. Never that. That's probably because I didn't get the information, or maybe I did a bad job researching it, but I'll never leave anybody out on purpose.
Are you sure you're not running some sort of pay? Okay, here we go, Raymond. Let's take a look at these.
I haven't got a red cent from anybody.
Oh, yeah. If we were making any money, we would be coming here from our palatial studios, broadcasting every game with our remote cameras. We love football. All right, Raymond and I. What a team. Okay, here we go. I'm looking for my East County player. Unfortunately, what happens here, Raymond, I'm not teasing you. We're having a little inside joke there, but you know why our players aren't making it, because they're sitting by halftime, quite frankly, and everybody's getting into the games here a little bit in these one-sided games. So Chance LaChapa, he has a big game with 5 catches for 125 and 2 touchdowns against the Norsemen, and Jonathan Sablon there, 230 yards and 3 scores against Santana. Take a look at your honorable mentions. Kevin Allen rushed for those touchdowns. Jordan Gash, you mentioned him in your recap. I mentioned Brady Geralman, and he had a big game as well. And also Maxwell Turner with his big yards and a 50-yard run. Thanks for highlighting all the county athletes, Raymond, like you do. I'm sure the people who have never met you here know that you're the man behind stfootball.net and stfootball.net on X, where you're tweeting out, or whatever it's called, great information every week throughout the season, highlighting all the players. You don't know any of them going in. You just look for the highlights and the stats. And one thing else that's made is people inflate their stats. They really don't that much anymore, because there's so much media, social media. You can kind of call people out a little bit. But anyways, thank you for a great job this week, and we'll catch up with you again next week, unless you have any parting words.
No, just thank you for having me, man. I appreciate you having my back on Twitter or X, whatever they call it. And yeah, man, I'll see you again next week. We have some great games to cover.
You should have seen the tweet that I deleted. I'll catch you next week.